I have some fuck around topics too.
Good.
We'll just fuck around for a bit.
We'll just
This is what we do best.
Yeah.
And then
I already hit record on accident. So ready?
Well, shit.
Get your bell. There it is. Welcome
to Wait, what? What just happened?
Yeah, it's our first time, guys. We're brand new.
Hey, new pod.
I'm so hopeful that this podcast is going to take off.
Yep.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Colleen.
And we're on fire today is what we are.
You know, so you guys are listening to this on Tuesday, so the Beyonce album has come out.
Oh, yeah.
Since then. And Kris asked me, he hadn't listened to it yet. He asked me,
are we talking about Bay at the top of the episode? I thought maybe you were going to save it for your face.
I have a tie-in with this. I have a tie because you said I hope this podcast, can be something. And so Kris asked me, "What do you think? What do you think of the album?" And I gave him my
thoughts.
Yeah, I gave him several thoughts. And then but the bottom line was this is a hit. This is a hit. And
are you talking about this in faves? Like, when can I talk about it?
Well, we can talk about it. I didn't bring it up in faves, actually.
Okay, me neither.
But so we can talk about it now, and I can totally share my thoughts. But the long story short of the thoughts were, this is going to be a massive hit. And Kris looks at me, and in the most genuine way, he said, "Good for her. Good for her. She needed a win."
Did she?
No, but that was the funny part.
That's exactly okay. I see what you're saying.
The last person in the world,
right,
who needed yet another huge.
Good for her.
She needed a win.
I want to get back to
Beyonce,
but that reminds me of actually someone that needs a win. Did you see Will Smith's apology?
I did,
and my heart.
I've had an accident. I just spilled my beer all over my pants.
Can you
fill in just
You're
for
a sloppy mess. I mean, it's actually, she took a page out of my book, folks. She's left the stage. She's got to go get a full blown towel to clean up after herself. And that's something I would do. Right? She comes in prim and proper. She's got a whole syllabus for every show. Those of you who've been around since the jump have seen Colleen had printed out notes for shows, and I just come in flying I just got out of
what I miss.
I was just talking about how you took a page out of my book because I'm usually the slob.
Yeah,
and
so
here
what
you
are trying to do was
getting a Hoover vacuum to clean up the absolute disaster.
Oh yeah, it's a real
created.
I'm flooding here. So what I was trying to do was the old side pour with the beer, where you pour it in the glass at an angle so that it's just whatever, which probably doesn't really need to be done for this beer anyway. And I was so wrapped up in talking to you that I missed the glass, and I just was pouring
out. Wow.
And I noticed it relatively soon, but not soon enough for it to be a thing.
Right. It wasn't like you could just brush it off. You had to get something.
Yeah, now I'm just doing it. And I'm just dumping.
Okay, so Will Smith, my heart really, I felt for him. Because he said, I am working really hard to tell myself I'm a piece of shit, right? He has a lot of regret and a lot of remorse, and to do it on that public of a stage. And he's like, this is part of he basically said something like, this is part of my childhood trauma, is letting people down. And so if I go there, I know that I let people down, my fellow nominees, I ruined so many people's nights. And he's like, and I also imagine he's been getting so much judgment because what he did is not right. Right. But sometimes it's easy to forget there's also a human in there, and maybe that he's working hard to not be depressed now,
Yep.
So that guy needs a win.
Yeah. I think this apology is genuine.
Very.
It's the way to do it. It's not
a written statement.
It's not a written statement. The words weren't just perfectly curated we've seen a million times before.
Yep.
This is real. This is genuine. It's I think it seems to be landing very well. A lot of the feedback that I've seen so far is just compassion for him and onward.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can go on. He seems like he's really, hopefully he can go onward, but I'd love to, I'm big Will Smith fan still, turns
It's
out.
one of those things, I just feel like this is something that's going on with culture right now where I think in general people are probably unhappy. Like, it's got to be where this comes from. And so instead of looking inward and like, how can I be, and I say this knowing like I also had a response to this thing, right? So like I also had thoughts about this Will Smith and like we talked about on the pod. So, but in general, when we crucify people for doing things that are not worth crucifying them for,
Right.
like there's repercussions certainly, but this guy is not like a sex trafficker, child predator. Right. So when we crucify people for that, it's so sad. I just saw there's a Beachbody coach this week who she's got over 1 million followers on TikTok, and she apparently went live, and she has a 10-month-old baby, and he wasn't listening to her, so she like tapped him on the butt. It was off camera, so you couldn't really see, but apparently people are full blown like going after her as like a child abuser, and she had to turn her account off. And I didn't know anything about it until I was scrolling TikTok and something popped up in my feed, and I was like, oh shit. And so I went and voice memo with her on Instagram, and I'm like, I just want to let you know, like, I've been in these storms before, and when you're in the storm, it looks like there's no way out. It is so scary when you're in the eye of the tornado, right? You're just like spinning, and everywhere you turn, you're just being hurled like what a piece of shit you are. And it is so hard to rise above and be like, okay, this tornado will pass. And so I was just like, just so you know, like, I know that this is your whole world right now, and it's very scary, but they will move on. People will move on to the next thing, because that's what people do. They just find the next thing that they can crucify someone for. And it's like, she could learn. Sure, that wasn't probably her proudest moment, right? But there's a way for her to learn that maybe swatting your baby on the butt isn't the right. Like, she can learn that without being absolutely demoralized and crucified. And it kind of makes me sad that that is what's happening, because then you see, like, I thought Will Smith seemed very genuine, and it really made me sad to think, because I haven't noticed he's been gone for 3 months, right? I haven't even noticed there's a storm. Meanwhile, he's in the eye of the tornado, just like spinning.
Yeah.
Right. And this is happening to real
like there's
people.
been a lot that's come up with like his family too. And like,
he even apologized to Jada on there.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a history too with like Chris Rock kind of coming after Jada or something. And there was a point made on my Twitter feed that was like, okay, so now Chris Rock's turn to apologize to Jada if we're going to be looking for things. Like if there's context there and history between, like real, like it's not just a joke. It's like real things happening between them and a dynamic that we probably aren't aware of. But they're like, but that would probably be laughed at, like, or laughable, like that it's not owed or something. Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. But
anyway,
what are you sipping on?
So Beyonce's album.
Wait, but what are you sipping on?
Okay, I'm sipping on, I brought two because you know me. Yeah. I can't have just one. So I brought one of the Holiday Brew, the one that you had a couple weeks ago, the blonde. Oh, okay. I felt like a beer. I thought that sounded really good. Yeah. Holiday favorite blonde, gluten-free beer. And then a backup is this Endless Afternoon watermelon hard soda. Nice. Whatever. What did you bring? You brought the same sour beer you've been drinking.
Yeah. 10 Barrel Brewing raspberry sour. I'm 10 out of 10 curious to hear your thoughts on the Beyonce album because we were, break my soul, we were on opposite ends. I'm still just moving and grooving to it, and you were like, "This isn't for me," and I don't think I'm gonna like this era.
I've
Beyonce.
never listened to an album. I'm sure you have because you're a music person, but this seems like a first time for me where when you press play on the first song, there is no like you can't tell where one song ends and another one begins. It is a entire art, right? Like it is from start. The transitions are, and so when I heard Break My Soul, it made absolute sense in the album, right? I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm ready to vibe. Like, and there's then some spicy, some saucy things in there. There's some things that don't make sense to me, which happens on pretty much every Beyonce album. And I can't tell if this is going to be like one that I can sing to. I think there are, because like Lemonade, I loved because I could like sing to it. I was fired up with her. And I can't tell yet, but I'm just going to give it some spins. But I feel like it is a work of art. It's very on brand for like the show, the On the Run tour, how we were like, that wasn't a concert. That was a literal performance and work of art. That's sort of how I feel about this album. It is art.
Yep.
You know, it's not isolated. I've never heard anything like it. And I'm sure she's not the first to do it, but I think it's great. So what's your
I love it.
educated brain
No,
and,
I mean,
research brain
I don't
think?
know if I want to give like the whole, because I think I'm probably very boring when I talk about it, but it's just, I love it. I love it. I listen to it. I want to move. Beyonce has nothing to prove. She's already mastered everything in every way. And what I love about this album is she's having a good time. She's playing with stuff, and it's creative and it's fun and it's what she wants to do very clearly. And it feels like a collection, but there's a lot of unique things and there's a lot of risk in moments, and I love it. This is an album for there. I have not, because Rolling Stone as of right now has not released their review of it. But I listen to it and I feel like this is like, I just want to dance, man. I just want to dance. I want to be at the same vibe. I want to be somewhere on a vacation with some drinks, maybe on a boat, dancing under the stars. This is what I want. And she takes me to places. And I love her.
It is like, because it's not too housey. There is some house in there, but when that Break My Soul is in the middle of everything, it feels fine. It feels very cohesive. And it feels like, at a club, there's never any silence because the DJ mixes the songs together. Like, there's no time where you're like, oh, okay, where's the vibe? And then the vibe comes back when the next song starts. Like, it's just one big fluid situation.
It's loose in the best way. So this is part 1 of 3. This is going to be a trilogy. Yes. And I'm very curious if Act 2 and Act 3, because she calls them acts.
Yes.
And if we're talking about a collection of art, acts have ties, but they're not necessarily like these next 2 could be totally different or similar. And I'm so excited to see what she has up her sleeve.
I haven't listened all the way through because I heard there was going to be some country or something. I haven't gotten any country yet. Have you gotten country?
There's some elements, but it's not like country.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Okay. Do we want to keep rolling with flash faves?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to talk to you about real quick my favorite thing that I sipped. So I had this idea. This is not the favorite thing I sipped, but it's something I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
When I go to a restaurant, like I went out to eat the other day, and I have it's my favorite restaurant that has the like the cilantro, mint, pineapple, lime thing or whatever. Right? That I've talked about it many times. So I ordered that. It's delicious. And then I wanted a margarita. But now when I have margarita, I don't want just the sugar. Like you can get most margaritas are very sugary, right? So I look and I see, they've got a spicy margarita here. And then they call it a skinny marg. And I have a little bit of a problem with that. I just had this thought, like, I hate ordering a skinny margarita because I just feel like it's just a more misogynistic, like, cultural, diet culture bullshit. And I had this idea as I was like, you know what they should call that? They should call that a smart margarita. Because it's, like, smarter for your body.
Yeah.
Right? To, like, not be loading it with sugar.
Yeah.
I hate everything. When you call it the skinny, like Bethany Frankel's alcohol is like skinny everything, skinny girl, whatever. This is like, it's for selling because that's what everyone wants to be, is skinny. And I think it's like, this is a renaissance too.
Yeah. Skinny girls drink this, as the implication is,
right.
What about everybody else?
I'm going to get skinny.
What about everyone else who's just totally normal? What are we drinking?
Should just be called a smart.
You know what?
I'm going to order a smart margarita, and the bartender knows, this person gives a shit about their blood sugar. All right.
Yeah.
And they care about flavor.
How about everybody's margarita?
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody's margarita.
Everybody's margarita. But I was trying to think with like the S.
Yeah, no, that's
whatever.
That's
smart.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be smart, but it was just like, what can we say instead of skinny? It's like a smart marg. Okay,
Savage
anyway.
marg.
Best thing that I drank was, I didn't know this was a thing, but when John and I went on date night, he ordered a tequila old fashioned. Did you know that's a thing?
I did not, and I'm very interested.
It was, and at this restaurant was like a fancy cocktail bar. So they had chocolate bitters, but it was tequila, one huge big cube, the chocolate bitters, and then your like whatever the sugar and orange or whatever was in there. It was insane. It was so good.
Okay, I really want to try this.
We need to make
probably an online recipe. We need to start a master list of things we're going to do when you're here.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because guys, I'm going to be up there in 3 weeks.
Okay, Ash, I'm making a list right now. Ash trip.
Get it started.
Chocolate, tequila.
I mean, we don't have to use the chocolate bitters, but
I want to try though.
Yeah.
Like we must try. Because I was thinking just the other day about the cinnamon tequila orange the shot. Remember that?
I forgot about that.
I thought about this like yesterday. Randomly, it popped into my head. And so this idea of this kind of sweetness with the tequila and the orange.
And still the one big, I thought, Colleen, one big cube here. We got one big
That's
cube.
the only way you can do an old fashioned. Anywhere else, if they serve it outside of a one big cube, you take your money elsewhere. You're not having a proper old fashioned.
Yeah. F off. Yeah. Oh, well, did you know there's like sweet old fashions?
What do you mean?
Well, when I go to visit my sister-in-law, Jessie, in Texas, they do old fashions at every holiday function.
Yeah.
And so he does let me look it up. Sweet old. It's very sweet. So yeah, let me show you. Oh, it's a Wisconsin. It's a Wisconsin. That's a thing. It's a Wisconsin thing. They do not do. See, look at this.
Oh,
this is exactly what it looks like. It's like maraschino cherries, a bunch of rocks, maraschino. So orange, maraschino, cherry juice, bitters, ice cubes, brandy, water, orange juice, and lemon lime soda.
Yeah, this is some bars make it this way too.
Yeah.
And this is a spin on the old fashioned, and it's fine. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't actually like it that much. I like it when I'm with them because it's their tradition, and like traditions are super fun. But it's very sweet. And what I like about the old fashioned is the whiskey.
Do you like smoky vibes?
No. That's one thing I didn't mention. So this tequila old fashioned, it was smoked. They had like a smoke machine.
Yeah.
And like put it in the thing and smoked it and then brought it over. And John ordered it, and John loves smoky. It didn't have too much smoke flavor to me, but I'm not a smoky fan.
I never I started out with whiskey on ginger ales and whiskey, like Woodford and ginger.
Yeah.
That was like my entry point. So it's sweeter. Right. I started out sweet, and then I went kind of like, okay, without the sweet, just sort of neutrals, like and like straight old fashions. And now I've been into smoke for a while.
What does that mean?
Like,
do
just
they smoke it, or is it smoked whiskey?
There's all kinds of ways that you can. So I made Kris an old fashioned when we were at the cabin, and we bought a smoked simple syrup. So instead of using a sugar cube, we used a little bit of smoky simple syrup, and then we did some bitters and just a whiskey that we like. And so that was like a little smoky flavor. But then there's also whiskeys that are more of that sort of hit you in the throat kind of. Yeah. Anyway, this is I'm excited to try this tequila drink. I'm very interested.
So we gotta check that out. Best thing that I heard. So Chelsea Handler sort of started annoying me because she was just like a little, I don't know. Actually, she started acting the way I started acting when I was real high at the top of my mountain before I got knocked down, which is just like, I can do no wrong. Right. And there is something to be said for that, but it's also like, I actually think, so I'm listening to, this goes to the best thing that I heard. I listened to her on Glennon Doyle's podcast, We Can Do Hard Things. And she's fresh off her breakup with Joe Coy, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And she's been going to therapy for years. She's like a very enlightened, deep human now. And I was very moved by that podcast. So then I went and bought her book, which is Life Will Be the Death of Me. And I just started listening to it. And actually, there's a part in there, it's the second chapter, she's talking about how like one of the badges of honor she wore her whole life was how strong she was. And she was like, and I would go to bat, and you guys have heard me say this. She's like, I would go to bat for anyone I loved, and some people I didn't even really know. She's like, I would take an axe to the chest. I would do all these things. And she's like, but then when people weren't as bullish as me and they wouldn't have my back that same way, she was like, I burned that bridge, right? And she's like, because it was part of my pride was like, I'm so strong and I'll do this. But really that was sort of part of her conditioning of like, nobody can touch me. I'm not broken. I'm totally fine. And it was unpacked trauma basically. And it made me sort of realize like, oh, I wonder if that's part of where I'm coming from too, is like, I'm so strong. You can't touch me. I've got this hard armor that you can't break through. And she's like, I would never cry for myself, but I would cry for people that I love. Right. And she's like, and after therapy, what I realized is as I'm crying for them, I'm actually crying for me. Right. But I would never allow someone to see me crying for me. Well, that's not something I've ever struggled with, but I saw some of that. And I have burned, like I will take anybody down for someone that I love, but I also take it very personally if it's not returned. And, I have conversations with someone, one of my friends, and she's like, we're wondering what this next phase of our friendship is going to look like. And she's like, I just, let's do this, but I think you have high expectations. And she's like, I'll never be the person that's going to burn bridges. And I said, totally fair. Right? Like, it's all so enlightening. And I did not expect to get this lesson from someone like Chelsea Handler. But it's like, I think her and I were both putting on this like hard exterior, and we both still have the edge. Like I still have the edge, but now I've also got the awareness of like, it's also like nice to be held sometimes. I don't have to just be beating everybody off. Like I got my own back. I got my own shit. To let people like be there for you and hold you is also really cool. So, that is the best thing that I listened to was that podcast. And then I just started listening to the book, but I think it's going to be really good. I went and read some reviews.
And also you love in a certain way. And if it's not loved in the way that you want it back, there's like hey, you don't love me sometimes bye thing. There's lots of ways that people love and experience friendship that is not at all like not loving you.
Yes.
Right? Does that make sense? Like
that's
there's
actually
like this whole big middle ground between your love language and not being friends. There's like a whole world.
Huge amount. Yeah. And I was taking things to mean that I must not be as loved if people weren't going to bat for me. They must not love me the way that I love them. And that's not what that means. Right? Years ago in high school, I saw this quote that says, just because someone doesn't love you like the way you want them to doesn't mean they don't love you with everything they have. And, that sounded good at the time, and I only applied it to boys. But really that is, I've thought about it over the years. It's always been something I've come back to. But I've never really practiced true belief that also applies to friends. I mean, you're not the burn a bridge type, right? And you're like the closest thing I feel like I have to a soulmate. And you wouldn't burn a bridge. That's not you, but I yet always feel loved by you, right? But like there have been times where I'm like, why isn't Coll burning that bridge? And I think part of the beauty of our friendship is you've always given me grace when I do things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And instead of say, like I remember the time we probably talked about on this podcast, but where you found out, I think something about we put an offer for the house in Arizona, or we got an offer on the one in Oregon, whatever. It was basically like the wheels were turning that we were moving. And you found out on social media, and instead of being, well, initially you were her, but then like gave me the benefit of the doubt of like, okay, this is her job and this isn't against me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've always been that great at giving the benefit of the doubt of like, this isn't against me. Like I was taking all these things personally, and it's just not personal. Like people love in different ways, and their love is also beautiful. So
there's lots of things everybody's working on for sure. And I think the moment that I had the realization was like, this isn't about me.
Yeah.
There was nothing in this that was like about me.
Yeah.
Right. And like so much of what we get upset about is like totally has nothing to do with us.
Well, pretty much
it's
everything
has
nothing to do with us.
Yeah. It's not about us. But we center ourselves in so much.
Yeah.
And then that creates a lot of pain.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the best thing that I've heard. And then I'll do one more. The best thing that I've read, this is going to be old news, and I know some people don't like when I share stuff on Instagram and here, but it just is worthy of both.
Deal with it.
It's
not about you.
It's not about you. This letter from my grandma,
Oh.
The lost art. Okay, so she puts this note. She writes us a letter, and it has a little
just grandma writing. Also,
yeah.
You're so lucky to still have a grandparent in your life.
She has
I miss my
whiteout
grandparents
right here
so much.
Like,
This writing is like tight cursive and
cursive.
Perfect.
And she's sitting, I'm sure she's sitting down at her little table, right? And I just think it's adorable that she's got the whiteout, right? Like the whiteout pen. Oopsies. And she does this. She writes a little note, a little slip inside. Hello, Revy Jane, with a little heart. And it says, I love you. A little heart sticker, Gigi and G-Paw. And then I'm just going to read it because when I read it on my stories, I got a lot of messages about people that it reminded them of their grandparents that they don't have anymore, and it made them cry. And it made me think writing is a lost art, and I want to start writing.
Yes, and just grandparents,
like here and there.
That era of grandparents that are, it's the end of an era. It's always an end of an era and beginning of a new. There's people who die every day and people who are born every day, but the people who are close to their way out, this is like they need every moment of airtime possible because there's so much we can learn.
So much.
With that,
they also date everything. I don't date anything anymore, right?
Let's start.
My parents still do, but we need to start dating everything.
Yeah, I'm in.
So she writes July 16th, 2022, top right corner. She says, Dear Ashley and John, what a fun time we all had at your gathering that I think Jen really was anxious to have so she could visit with everyone. Jen is my aunt, and we just had people over for dinner. It was very good of you to have the group. It was a great time with a super taco spread, all just perfect. It was so fun to have time with our family, to catch up with all the current happenings. To see your little ones is so fun and entertaining. Revy is good at entertaining herself, but also has a good time with family members. Mac is getting good at talking and keeps us all watching his antics. Such a cute family. Now here we are at Lakeside. They're up north. We're still trying to keep the geese out of the yard. I think we are seeing a little improvement when our pinwheels are spinning. There has been some rain, but always wishing for more. We hope you come to the mountains this summer, but I know you have to work that out with renting. We'll try to get by to see your place. Stay healthy and happy. We love you and family, Gigi or Jima or Betty. And then she says, sorry for the poor writing. Hope you can read this. She's going to be 95 in September. 95. And they're up at Lakeside. They're on their own house. They drive these windy ass roads. My grandpa drives these windy ass roads 3 hours to their, vacation home, their winter home, because it's 20 degrees cooler up there, 15, 20 degrees cooler. And they're just there.
I love her.
The two of it is amazing. And, so I saved this. I'm like, this is going to be something I'll probably frame or I just want to keep this forever and ever and ever. So that's the best thing that I read. What are your faves, Coll?
Okay, my faves. I'm actually just now doing this.
What? You're just finally putting together your favorites?
This app called Be Real, Bereal. And Ash, we need to do this with each other. Okay. So my friend Shannon turned me on to this the other day. So what you do is you get a little friend group on Be Real. And you know how Instagram is like perfectly posed, a lot of perfect stuff. And then there's stories, which is a little looser, but it's still pretty curated. Then there's like Facebook, and I've been off Facebook for so long, but everybody's sandbox is on Facebook. So what I love about Be Real is basically you get a notification and you have to take a picture of whatever you're doing within 2 minutes. You have to, whatever you're doing. If you're on the toilet, you take a picture of your feet. You do it at all times. And you can be late, but you kind of get penalized or whatever. So as you were telling that story, I got a notification that it was my turn to do a Be Real.
Oh, shit.
So I quickly snapped it. I'm potting
You're
right
in
now.
A good position.
Yeah.
Right now.
But the other day I was feeding Ellie. I have been there. That's most of the times. And so then it's kind of fun because you see what everybody's doing. Someone took a picture of their cubicle at work, which I've never seen my friend's cubicle at work. So it's kind of fun. It was take your friend to things. But we're the only people who see it. So no one else is seeing it. So you can be more vulnerable. Or you're at the grocery store, just snap a picture of the aisle. Or whatever you're doing. And it's kind of a fun way to feel. And it's not all the time. It's not it keeps just going all day. It's one a day, right?
Does someone have to trigger it, or does the app trigger it?
I don't really know. I think it's the app.
Okay, we got to get our
when you're
crew
when you're
on that.
up. Yeah, it's like a fun way to stay connected in a way that's
and see the little ins and outs of the day.
Little ins and outs of life.
Not
and
perfect curation.
And I didn't you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to post anything. No one else sees it. Just and it's fun. It's fun. And then you can comment, you know, on people's like whose did I I'm the first one of the day. So I started it because she told us about this app and I started it and then I added friends. And then I think they had completed the round for the day and so then I'm up. So then so someone's got 2 minutes. Someone's late. But it's been really fun and I think it's cool.
I love that. That is a really cool thing.
Oh,
good job, world.
Kidoki. Product, and I'm going to add this to our products list. This is not a new thing to a lot of people, but it's a new thing to me because we didn't need it with Ben and we definitely have needed it with Ellie and it's been awesome. Is the Windy. Did you have to use that?
I never was successful. I tried it with both kids, but I never could get air out.
Okay. So it's this little, it's called the Windy Frida, and it's this little tiny tool. Basically, they're one-time uses. Tool is not the right word. They're just like this little contraption that if your baby's really gassy and they have, you know, when your baby's gassy because their stomach's really tight and they're really unhappy, like locked legs, they're upset. And if you've exhausted methods, like this is a nice way to help relieve gas. And this sounds really gross. And I was like, had anxiousness about using it, I would say.
Well, because you got to stick it in the butthole, which is a little weird.
Yeah. And I just never needed it with Ben, but with Ellie, there's moments where it's like we can't really move on with like a feed or anything else until she gets some relief. And we don't have to use it that often. You can't use it more than I think 3 times in a 24-hour period. Mm-hmm. But you just massage their little tummies for a minute and help kind of work it down. Use a little coconut oil, use the Windy, and it has worked every time for Ellie. And then she's calmed right down.
Oh my God. What a relief.
And it's been awesome. It has been awesome. So I'll add that to our if you guys haven't shopped our faves, we have anything that you can buy on Amazon is updated all the time in our faves list. Link is in our Instagram bio. You can sip with us as our Instagram handle, and then there's a link in our bio that you can access faves. You can also access it on our website, sipsquadpod.com/shop. Okay. Last thing I've just finished watching this, and I thought it was very well done and very good. Have you heard of The Bear?
No.
On FX? Mm-mm. Okay. It's really buzzed about right now. Very high Rotten Tomatoes, very high audience score. Super good show. So it's about this top-notch chef. His brother commits suicide. That's not giving anything away. It's like right off the gate. And his brother left him kind of his rundown restaurant. And he goes in and is like dealing with his brother's death and also, you know, fixing this restaurant. But it's gotten a ton of buzz, not only because it's great acting and great writing and a great production and great everything, but people who are in the restaurant industry are like, wow, this is one of the more accurate representations of like what it's like to be.
And it's not documentary.
In the kitchen. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's like a really well done, like it takes people in the vibe of a kitchen that is
Did you say business. Hulu? Would you say
it's on FX?
FX. Oh, so would that be like Peacock? Like how do you watch, or on demand? Like, or are you watching it in real time?
Kris he just goes to it on.
All right,
demand.
I'll just ask my remote.
We were watching it on demand.
Yeah, it's got to be
somehow.
Okay,
and we just burned through the whole season, so it's a fresh. You got a whole season that you can go nuts on.
All right.
Okay, and then the last thing I'll talk about, I have made the best thing on the planet. Okay, so I don't know how I stumbled upon this, or why I wanted to make these. Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember. I was doing floor time like with Ellie, like she was like doing tummy time. We were just like looking at stuff, and TV was on, and it was Food Network. And the Pioneer Woman was on, who I don't really watch the Pioneer Woman, but she's great. She seems great, and she was making very quickly and easily key lime pie cheesecake bars. And I was immediately sucked into the TV and I thought, okay, this is something that I can really get on board with. And it was very easy to make, and cheesecake can be kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
So oh my gosh. So we have new neighbors who moved in. So I thought, this is the thing I'm going to make them.
Get the hell out of here. You're bringing them. You're such an angel.
I made them cheesecake bars. I want to be friends.
Oh my gosh.
I'm desperate to make friends in our neighborhood, you know? So whatever I can do, like I'll just give people cash at this point. Like be my friend, you know? Yeah. So I'm going to knock their socks off with some, because it sounds special.
Right. Oh, I made you some cheesecake bars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My friend Annie was talking about what she makes for Christmas, which is Joanna Gaines' French silk chocolate pie. Like something branded that way. It's like, if that's the thing you make every holiday, people are going to be on board with it just from the moment you say French silk.
Right.
Done.
It's like your Christmas crack.
Yeah. So like key lime cheesecake bars, this is sex appeal from a recipe title standpoint.
Sign me up.
So the ingredients for the crust, it's chocolate graham crackers, butter, and cooking spray for like the bottom. And then for the filling, it's just cream cheese, sugar, key lime juice, which I just found at my grocery store. I put in lime juice and this key lime juice came up. That's another thing. Do you like limey stuff?
Yeah, I love
key lime. Okay, so I'll make these for when you're here. But then also on the bottle, it's like things that you can make with this, and it was like cocktails. I thought, I want a key lime cocktail. That is summer. Oh. That screams summer.
Where I have had a key lime pie martini before. I can't remember where, but I feel like I've had one with you. I want to say like Lucky Noodle or something in Eugene. Like,
yeah,
I have had one and they are good.
We need to find a good recipe for a key lime cocktail.
Yeah.
Vanilla extract, eggs, sour cream. And then you just make the filling, you make the crust, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You follow the cooking instructions, dust it with a little lime zest and a little powdered sugar on the top. This is 10 out of 10 from a dessert standpoint.
Whoa.
Very, very good.
Did you take it to the neighbors already?
Took half. So I made it in a big 9x13.
Yep.
Cut them into big squares, gave them half because no one wants 9x13 amount. We kept the other half. Ben asks for them. Like he loves limes though. He likes that like sour. Yeah. It's very good. So you guys got to try it.
What's the report on the friendship situation?
Yeah, haven't heard from him. Haven't heard. Hopefully they like lime. Hopefully
so you left a note or something.
I left a note. I said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." And when things calm, when life settles, because they know we have a newborn, we would love to host you for dinner and drinks. So, now the ball's in their court. Right?
Unbelievable. With a freaking newborn and you're dropping off a cheesecake treat at their doorstep.
It was quick too because we were trying to get out the door and Ben was like
unreal.
Ben was not wanting to get out the door and we were trying to go to swim and that was a whole thing. And then I was like, here you go. And
I'll tell you what, my favorite thing I heard this week is this damn story. Yeah. Unreal, Colleen. She needs a bell. Wow.
What's up? What's on deck here?
Oh, are you done? Ads?
Fix your face.
The ads. The Thrive Cosmetics is on deck. Thrive Cosmetics, y'all, we've been talking about them now for several months. We're not ever going to stop anytime. Even if they don't want us to talk about them, we're going to do it. We're going to keep talking about them. It is high-performance beauty and skincare products that are made with clean, skin-loving ingredients. They don't use parabens, sulfates, phthalates. It's 100% vegan and cruelty-free. Whenever I get my face together, I use their liquid lash extensions mascara. It's their best-selling product. It has over more than 20,000 five-star reviews. What I love about it, of course, it's going to be lengthening and eye-opening. What I love, though, is it's going to last all day. It doesn't clump. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't flake. So you don't get any fallout. And then it also, like, you can go swimming with it, and you don't get these raccoon eyes, right? It mimics the look of lash extensions without any of the damage because it's a tubing formula and it slides right off with warm water or washcloth. It's kind of satisfying. I pull it off in the shower, like you just get it a little bit wet, whoop, and it's like, I don't know, it's magic. And then I also have been using their 3-in-1 invisible priming sunscreen. So they have the sunscreen. It's got SPF 37. Y'all know how I feel about that. But it also, put it right on your face. It's clear, so no white cast. And it preps your skin for makeup. So it's going to help prevent any sun damage, but it's also going to give you like a smooth canvas for whatever makeup is that you put on it. I mean, huge fans.
Huge fans. They're bigger than beauty. mission is I mean, again, as if we could be bigger fans. For every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates to help communities thrive. They have over 300 giving partners across the country supporting numerous cases. And now is a great time to try Thrive Cosmetics for yourself. You can get 15% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/sip. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/sip for 15% off your first order.
Great.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right, now we're gonna just bullshit. We got some things. Someone wrote in and gave us more, whatever those things are, like
Bullshit
the would
topics.
you rather, like the hey, talk
This
about
is great.
things.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, this is great.
That was like the most fun that we had recording an episode.
If you have something you want us to riff on, to banter, light and easy banter, email us at youcansipwithus@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear what this person wrote.
Okay, so if you found $2,000 on the ground, what would you do with it? First of all, have you ever found any money on the ground?
It's funny you mentioned this. Our friends Caitlin and Mitch dropped us off at dinner, and they come in with the dinner and $5. And I said, "What's the $5 about?" This was on your driveway or like in your sidewalk. Someone dropped $5 on the sidewalk. I said, "We didn't feel right. It was on your sidewalk. It certainly wasn't our $5. We got $5. So we just found $5 the other day." I haven't found though like a jackpot situation. I haven't found like a. Have you?
Yeah.
No
Twice.
Way. What?
One time in high school, I found a $100 bill.
Ooh.
On the ground at an apartment complex. I was at my friend's apartment complex. It was late night. Tell you what we did with 20 of it. We went and bought toilet paper and went and TP'd a house.
Wow.
And then the rest of it, because if you're with friends and you happen to be the one that finds it, it's like, well, okay, I won't just keep the 100 for myself, but the rest of it I put in the bank, But like, let's put some money on the TP. Another time I found, I think like $800 or something like that at my apartment complex.
Wow.
And I just put it in the bank.
That's a lot of money to find. Yeah. Did you put out any kind of notification of like, hey?
No.
Wow.
I shouldn't probably even told that story because it makes me sound terrible. But I just was like, oh, this is the universe. The universe knows that I need money.
I deserve this $800.
Freaking broke that it was like, I was like, I thank you so much. I didn't even think
need to settle up that karma though and just like get a couple hundos.
Yeah,
and
that's actually true.
Toss them in your neighborhood.
Well, not my neighborhood.
Maybe like, I don't know, somewhere. Toss them somewhere. Yeah. Go to somewhere where college kids dwell.
Yeah, college kids or like
go to
fresh
a college
out of college.
Town. Yes.
That's what it was. I was fresh out of college, so parents had cut me off. I got bills. I got all kinds of things.
Yes.
I couldn't afford living, and I just thought, oh, this is
go to a college
several
campus.
Hundred, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I was able to pay made it so I could pay my rent without a credit card that month. Well, but you're right. I need to go pay back. Okay, so if I found $2,000 right now on the ground,
the question.
I would probably depends where I was, but I would probably go turn it in wherever. Like if I was at the grocery store or if I was at the I would leave a sign or something like
next door post. But how do you suss out whose it is? Like, who wouldn't say that's my $2,000?
I would probably say, like, if it was on Nextdoor or if it was in my community, I would say, I found something on the ground. I think whoever wants, I would say the street that I found it on. If you're missing it, tell me what you think it is and let me know. I wouldn't say, oh, I found $500 or it would be $2,000 on the ground.
Whose is it?
Like, I would probably, do that. And if it was at a grocery store, like, I don't know that it would go to the right person, but at least I wouldn't have the bad karma. Like, I was fine with the bad karma back then because I was so freaking broke. I couldn't do anything. But now I think I'd feel too bad if I found $2,000. What would you do if you found $2,000?
Exact same.
Put it up on
the exact same.
You bring it in and then you put it on like the HOA.
But I would give it a week.
Yeah.
And then it's mine.
Yeah.
Then it's I've exercised my due diligence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's going in my bank account.
What would you do if you found $2,000 when you were fresh out of college?
Take it.
Were you still a good person? Okay.
I would take it.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
No,
I'm like,
in college,
I've never told anyone that I found that money at the apartment complex.
Now you've told a lot of people.
I've never even told John.
Well, now
I never told anybody.
I remember
because I knew the right thing to do was put it to leave it or whatever, to like go turn it into the apartment complex. I knew that was the right thing, but there was a part of me that was like, they left it for me to find. This is divine timing. Yeah. I need it. I need to pay rent.
This is a gift from God.
Yeah. Meanwhile, someone else couldn't pay rent that month.
Yeah. Meanwhile, someone else's life was 100% derailed. But hey, it's tough breaks.
I'm the word. That's why I've never said it ever out loud. But here I am saying it out loud. Like
I wish. I'm going to think of something for the next episode of something I've never told anybody. A deep, dark skeleton, and I'll share it.
Will you do it for real?
So that we're equal.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay. What is one recent trend you can't stand? I'll tell you all of them.
Okay.
I went to Express the other day. And I walked in and I thought, not a single you couldn't pay me to take any of this stuff with me. I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
The trends right now, and then I go get my hair done, and it's a very trendy salon. It's all young girls that know they're up on the current fashion trends, and I think all of you look like fools.
Yeah.
This is not going to work for me. I don't like any of the trends right now. It's like I think it's 90s style maybe.
Okay.
But Doc Martens are back. Chacos, Teva sandals are in style now.
Okay.
I don't like the Levi's big ass baggy jeans. I don't like the crop tops really. I don't like the homeless look. I don't like any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not real trend right now. I'm not very trendy. I've never been trendy. I like what I like and I stick with it.
Mm-hmm. Can you picture even a trend right now that you're like,
not a single one?
I'll tell you that the last trend we got on.
What?
Biker shorts, baggy tees.
Yeah.
Let me live in that.
I'm fine with that.
That was like the COVID trend. That was like 2020 to 2021 trend.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell these people think they're doing.
Have people grown out of that?
Yeah, we're out of it. It might still be there, but I feel like we're beyond that. I don't see.
Yeah. I like the classics, the things that are like they're never gonna go out of style. It's my.
Give me an example.
Like a nice leather jacket.
That's out of style.
No, it's not.
For me.
For you, but like classics, like closet staples. Like great pair of jeans.
Great pair of jeans, but then here's the thing: what is a great pair of jeans? Skinny, boot cut, straight, flare?
Slim fit.
Slim fit. Okay.
Yeah, just not baggy.
That's probably
great pair of white sneakers.
Yeah.
You can wear that with anything.
But Converse.
You're never going to go out of style. You just wear them with anything.
Converse never going to go out of style. No. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, black dress. All right. Cute black dress.
You definitely need a black dress.
Never going to go out of style.
Dress. No. When do you unpack? First thing when you get home from vacation or dilly-dally?
I used to be a dilly-dallyer. That has been my MO my entire life.
Yeah.
These days, I get a sense of control, like doing it sooner. Certainly my own bag. Like I will unpack that within 24 hours.
Okay.
The family stuff, like when we came back from the cabin, it was slower, like getting Ben's stuff like washed and folded because he has so much stuff. He has so many t-shirts. He has so many this, so many that. It's like, but I do like to get a grip on it sooner rather than later now. How about you?
Yeah. I would like to, it feels good to be the person that unpacks immediately.
Yeah.
But it also feels good to let it sit for a week.
Does that include the family stuff? Like if you go somewhere and you pack food?
No, the food stuff goes away right away.
And like stuff, like swimming stuff or like kids
swimming stuff is usually in our luggage. But like if it's like toys and
snacks
stuff like that. Yeah. Like I imagine, so we're going to go to San Diego in, a week or whatever. And we're going to be packing like canopies and like bunch of food bins and summer things and SPF. Like I imagine that stuff will get unpacked before the rest of any of our personal items.
Are you driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 5 hours. It's 5 hours.
You've done it. You just did it with Teresa's trip.
We did it.
Fine.
That's 6 hours. This is 5 hours. They did okay. I had a lot of nerves heading into the LA trip. I don't have as many nerves heading into the San Diego because the kids did pretty well.
Yep.
Revy remembers, though, that it was a long time, and she's like, she wants to be on an airplane. But then the problem with the airplane is when you land, we would also have to pack car seats or something, because then how do you get from the airport to the house? Yep. And we don't need a car all week. We never so it'd be like, okay, well, do we pack the car seats and lug those around and then just not need them all week? Or do we rent a car and then it just sits in the garage? And John was like, let's just drive.
Yep.
So we're driving.
How long are you staying?
A week. Saturday.
Wow. It's a nice trip.
It's a nice trip.
Yeah.
It's a nice trip. Black or red licorice?
Red. I know your answer. Yeah, black.
The problem, here's the problem with black licorice these days. Black licorice is one of my very favorite flavors on the planet.
Yeah.
Is black licorice. And licorice is not gluten-free.
But we found good black gluten-free licorice for you.
That's right. Those Scotty dogs. I got to order them. Oh my God, I forgot about those.
For August.
You sent them.
They're so good, dogs, right? You love them. They're delicious.
Licorice. If you guys I forgot about those.
Ashley.
If you're gluten-free and you like any kind of licorice, red licorice or black licorice, they have online
Scotty dogs
on Amazon. Scotty dogs. Colleen found them and she sent them to me, and they are very good.
Dynamite. I liked them as just a licorice person. They're delicious.
Yeah, they're delish. Yeah. Okay, what's the other one? If you could have one cuisine for the rest of your life, one kind of food, what would it be?
Italian.
Oh, do you have any?
Because here's what you've got. You got, they have delicious salads with like vinaigrettes.
Okay.
This was one of my favorite. You wouldn't think that this would be one of my favorites gestational diabetes wise, and it was. Because then you got meatballs and marinara. You can go for that course.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You've got some nice meats, some sausages even, right? Then there's a variety. It's not just noodles. There's like lasagna. There's like eggplant lasagna. There's all kinds of, or if you want your pasta, you can go that route.
Yeah.
Wines are delicious.
There is wine.
Love Italian wine. Italian coffee is good. This is like.
All right.
Then the desserts are solid. And
Pizza?
There's a variety. Pizza. Yeah. Italian is, I think, not even I think. That is my answer, but I think that's the answer.
Primo. Problem.
It's not Mexican food. So you
No. Mexican food I don't actually really like. I only like the drink.
What?
Mexican food I don't really.
Chips and guac? I'm margaritas?
Huh? Yeah, no, margaritas I'll take, but I don't care about like the rice and beans and burritos and tacos. Fair. I like.
Yeah.
But the reason that I like Mexican food is because there are a lot of gluten-free options.
Yep.
Italian hit. Now, if I lived in Italy, gimme. Because you can have I can have all the gluten over there. But here in America, not so much. I'd be sick if I had it.
Yep.
I don't love the Mexican food enough. I don't feel like there's enough veggies. There's enough whatever. Mine is Thai food.
Smart.
I love Thai food.
A lot of veggies.
Lots of veggies. Tons of flavor.
A lot of meat.
They got noodles. They got rice. So you're getting the carbs. They got tons of meat.
Curries.
I tell you, the mango sticky rice dessert.
Top tier. That's top tier
Thai
dessert.
Iced tea.
Okay.
Thai, that's probably not blood sugar friendly, but
this is a solid answer though.
Thai.
Yeah.
Thai food.
Yep.
Okay. Did you say you had some stuff? I can keep going. There's more.
No, give me one more.
Okay. If money were no object, what would you buy or where would you go?
If money were no object, what would I buy or where would I go? I would take all of our friends and all of their spouses, and I would get a luxury yacht because I've been watching too much Below Deck. And I know you don't have to come. You should.
I would have major FOMO.
Oh my God, you'd have too much FOMO. But
I'd
when they
have
get
so much
all the
FOMO.
toys out, the water trampolines and the slides, and they're
Yeah.
vibing and they're drinking, and then you stop and like I would do one where you could stop and spend a couple days on land, but like in different places, like a Italy, Croatia situation, like all along that area, Mediterranean vibes.
Yeah.
You know?
My dad does those. He does like
Yeah,
it's like a
luxury yachts?
30-person cruise ship. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it's like they get all their friends, like 30 of their friends, and then they go and they just have them in this boat, and then they have like stopovers, and they're in the Mediterranean for a week.
Oh my God. Do they have the best time of their lives?
Yeah.
And you would not like this.
I don't think so. I don't want to have anything to do with water boats. I just get motion sickness really bad.
Oh, we'd fix you up.
Yeah.
We'd patch you up.
That's the thing. As long as I didn't get sick, I could,
Yeah.
I mean, I would get down.
Yeah. You do.
But I'm very nervous about
There's
being
no
sick.
world in which I pay for a luxury yacht and you're not on it.
Yeah, no, I'd have to be there. That's the thing. Like there's no world where you would do that and say, I'm bringing everybody, and I would say, well, I might have nausea. Like there's no world I'm not on the yacht.
Yeah.
I would have a lot of anxiety leading up to the yacht, though.
Yeah. It'd be like Weekend with Bernie. You'd be sick the whole time, but we'd like drag you in the photos.
Right. No, that's exactly, yeah. You could tranquilizer me so that I wouldn't ever feel sick, but like I would, my body would be
She's
experiencing
having a great
everything.
time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is not related and I want to hear your answer, but you were talked about with Kris and I just last night. We have to go to, we had a situation. We had a friend over, a wine glass broke. No big deal. Like this is what happens. This is part of the thing. So we were going to hop on over to the place we bought it and buy a couple more. And then we thought, should we buy 5 more? Because Ashley's in town. And Kris said we could offer her an advance discount. Like how many wine glasses do you think you're going to break? Pay for them in advance, get 20% off.
Depends how long we're spending, how much time we're spending together.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm a glass a day breaker.
We were laughing about it as it is a joke ski.
I mean, I break a glass and it's like at your house.
It's always at my house. Yeah, because we're
not,
loose. We're living.
I don't really break things at my house, I don't feel like.
No.
But I definitely break everything at your house.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And sometimes, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that broke when I was there, and it was not my fault, but you guys still didn't believe me. I was like, no, it was like this. And
it was our yard light or something.
No, well, that.
You ran over?
But there was something. There was something that I broke, and you guys were like, ah. And I was like, no, it was like that. Like, I just breathed, and it did that. But anyway, yeah.
All right. So what are you doing with an endless amount of money?
I'm buying. Okay, so I had a friend who earned a contest to take a private plane.
Okay.
So I'm buying a private plane, and I'm flying that wherever the hell I want. I'm going to become Kylie Jenner. I'm going to give no fucks about the environment or anybody else on the planet. Yeah. I am flying. That is the way to live, man.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going to take a 3-minute
This
flight,
is a once in a lifetime thing. This is a timely conversation because I plan to win the $1 billion megabucks thing tonight.
Oh.
My life's about to change.
Yeah, but then you're going to be on a yacht and I'm going to be on a plane.
No, but I'm winning the $1 billion.
Right. So
I get to plan it.
Okay. But I would buy a plane.
Yeah.
And like a nice one.
Yeah.
And, then I'd have the pilots and all of that. And I would probably buy a house because they have houses that are on these private airport like strips or whatever. John would go back to flight school. Some people might not know, but John has its private pilot's license. He's got to keep it up. But he'd go back to flight school so that he could be good to go. We'd buy a house on the landing strip. We'd buy a nice plane. And then I'd be freaking jetting to Oregon. Basically, probably like every day.
Yeah. I was going to say, should we buy a neighborhood as well? In
yes.
Like places we would want to hang out.
And I want Lindsay and Brandon to move in. I want Nikki and Ryan. I want Lindy. And then I want some of those girlfriends that you have too.
Just pack the neighborhood. Annie. Everyone gets a house.
I want Megan. Yeah. Just, bring all the cool people.
Yeah.
I want Shannon and Sean. I want them there.
Where we just meet up and have drinks.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Yes. Yes. This is what I'm trying to create here with key lime cheesecake bars. No one's accepting my rose.
Yeah. All right.
Oh God, there was something else just on the tip of my tongue. Does John want to fly again?
I don't know. Actually.
I forget that he has his that's.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder. Because I think his thing is it's like very expensive to get flight hours. So I think would rather spend the money elsewhere at this point in his life. But I should ask him. Mm-hmm. Because, but I also don't know, like, if I want my husband flying the plane.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
Like, come back here with us, party with us.
Yeah.
We'll get someone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. I think this is perfect.
That's good.
Okay.
We're doing, where is it? ZocDoc.
Okay. You guys know, bless the people who leave reviews. They like reading reviews on anything. I love it. Like Amazon reviews, a review of a restaurant. Before I go anywhere, I'm hitting the reviews and I'm reading what people write. I pour it over. So why not do the same when you're booking a doctor's appointment? It makes total sense. With ZocDoc, you can see real, verified patient reviews to help find the right doctor in your network and in your neighborhood. After all, finding the right doctor is just as, if not more important than finding the right plate of eggs Benedict. Okay? Listen, ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, takes your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun. Whether you're trying to straighten those teeth, fix an achy back, fix your shoulder, fix that mole, anything, ZocDoc has you covered. They have a personalized mobile app that's as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting delivery to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with a few taps. You can find and review local doctors as well, so you can read those verified patient reviews from real people, and then you can give back and read or write a review yourself. And when you walk into that doctor's office, you're all set to see someone in your network who gets you. Go to ZocDoc.com, find the doctor that's right for you, book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. Every freaking month, millions of people use ZocDoc. We're two of them. It's our go-to whenever we need to book a quality doctor.
Go to ZocDoc.com/sip and download the ZocDoc app for free, and then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/sip, ZocDoc.com/sip. Let's land the bird.
I just realized that I have rant and rave written down, and I didn't write anything, but let's see if I have anything in my situation here.
I have a rant.
Go for it.
I think I can do a rant. My rant is I talked about unsubscribing before.
Like to email to the emails. Billions of emails that flood our inbox all the time.
Yeah.
It's like
every
whack-a-mole.
day, I've got like 50 to 100 unread emails in the morning, and 50 of them are bullshit. Mm-hmm. But then when you go in, and it's like, I did this to myself. You go online and you got to enter your thing to get the deal or whatever it is. I don't know. I sign up for almost all of them. Sometimes I feel like they're shady ones that somehow find my email address. For the most part, I sign up for them. And then I hate when you go and you click, okay, scroll, unsubscribe, and then it opens another window and it's like, tell us why you're unsubscribing. And so then you have to it's like, no. If I have done the due diligence to scroll down and find the little unsubscribe button, I didn't slip. It was not an accident.
Yep.
Just take me off the list.
Yes.
Yes. But so then it's like, click there. Oh, well, sorry to see you go. We'd like to know more. No. Tell us why. And so I got to do another click to unsubscribe. And then sometimes they're like, and I hate, it opens this window and it's like, tell us which of the emails that you want to get.
20
right?
things.
And you have to then, you got to scan and
deals.
Be like,
I want news. I want this. I want that.
It's like, where's the one that says, show me nothing? Send me nothing.
I never want to hear from you again.
Ever.
Don't
0%.
Ever come into my inbox.
Talk to me again.
Again.
I don't even care if you bring key lime pie.
Ever.
I don't want it. I don't want you or anything you have to say.
Don't want you.
Hey, you
get out of here. Oh, it's the worst. I do appreciate though sometimes because I look at emails from my phone obviously. And then on Gmail on the top, sometimes it gives you the unsubscribe little link that you can click, and then it just says you're unsubscribed. But it's not, that's definitely not always. It needs to be always. It needs to be that easy.
It needs to be easier.
It needs to be way easier. Okay. My rant, in sports or in high school, you did sports, or middle school or whatever. Yeah. You did sports. Did you ever know how much they cost? Did you ever have to pay for your sports stuff? Me neither.
I mean, I'm sure we did have to pay, but I don't know.
Me neither. And I just would like to publicly say thank you to my parents for paying for things like soccer and trips with the band and things I did that were probably very expensive, that they never told me that they were expensive because they wanted me to not have to be thinking about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a family member, someone in my family who is a younger person, right? She's in school and she wants to do cheerleading. And this is, she doesn't have the benefit, right? The privilege of just not knowing how much it costs. She's going to have to fundraise money to do this. And it's just alarming to me. So this is a young person who's like honor roll, working her tail off in school, right? But like has to pay for this. She wants to cheerlead. What a great sport. Like, what a great sport. And sports in general. It's $1,400 for her to be a cheerleader. Uniforms, that, the other. $1,400.
Okay, but like a uniform is like $100.
Like to be part of the cheerleading program. It is insane. And I don't know the average prices of sports, but I can imagine it's like very expensive, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I hate the idea that, and we're going to rally as a family and get this done.
Yeah.
So like this is not going to, but it just, it made me sick to my stomach thinking about kids in school who want to do activities, more than one, and like potentially or can't.
Yeah.
Because of the price tag. And just the inequity starts there. And the realization of, oh, I'm in a different income bucket than this person sitting next to me at school starts there. And I just hate that.
Yeah.
I just hate that.
It is. I was reading Glennon Doyle's book again, and in it she talks about like how sports are so all consuming because now it's not enough to just play a school sport. Like now there's year round and traveling teams and those have fees. And then she's like, and then it's not just a sport. Then you're traveling, you got to pay for travel expenses and then hotels. And she's like, and it always blows my mind when someone says, oh, my son or daughter got this scholarship to play in college. And she's like, and I find myself thinking, yeah, but didn't you pay like at least that much with all the years leading up to that, right? Like it's crazy, and it's a big ask financially. It's a big ask time commitment. It's crazy. Sports are crazy these days.
For a family to swing it, and then there's the kids who have families that absolutely can't, and they just don't, and like it just sucks. Sucks.
That's shitty. That's shit.
What's our rave?
Let me see if I have a rave. My rant. I don't know if I've talked about this again. So I think I need to reset my watch. But I lose my phone like a million times a day. Yeah. And I feel like, because I take it with me everywhere and then I just set it places, So I don't know if you guys have an Apple Watch and an iPhone, but on the Apple Watch, you always got your watch on your wrist. I'm trying to turn it off right now. You always have your watch on your wrist. And there's this thing that you can swipe up from the bottom of your watch, right? Okay. You swipe up and your little menu comes on. And there's a little bell with parentheses around it. And it pages your phone. So I'm like looking around the house. Did I talk about this already?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'm looking around the house and I find it. Okay, so then I don't have a rave this week. That is my rave that I've already talked about because I had it on my list.
Okay, my rave. Can you hear Ellie?
I'm sure I have a rave, but I opened up my second beverage, got one down, and I can't think straight.
Okay. My rave. I think it was our cabin time as a family. even though we came home early, and I talked all about that over on Patreon, where it was a lot, it was too much. I've learned my lesson. I want to be at home. It still had moments though of like, this is summer. And like everything is more fun as a family when you're out and about. Like not everything, but that vacation vibe.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like the meals taste better. Going out and being able to do an activity tastes better. Getting some fresh air, like reconnecting to the outdoors a little bit.
Yeah.
Was so good. And then I wrote down this other little story. So, and this just is something that made me laugh, and so I put it down as my rave. But so I do the Wordle every day. By the way, folks, I am on how many days has it been? 120 day streak.
A third of the year.
Yeah, I've played 194 games.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm on a 120 day streak.
Wow.
My win rate, therefore, is 99.99999%. So many of you said, Coll, you got to try the Quordle, which is 4 games of Wordle at the same time. It's great. Definitely do the Quordle if you haven't.
That is.
Okay, so you put in one guess, one word, and then it applies to all 4 boxes, right? And then you kind of work on, you have to get all 4 within like, I think it's like 9 or within 10 guesses or something. So the other day we were having breakfast and Kris is in the kitchen and I was holding Ellie and I had the phone. So I'm like holding Ellie in one arm. I had the phone on the table. So I was pecking at the phone to do the Quordle, but he couldn't see my phone because of how my arm was positioned with Ellie. And I think there was like water and coffee and like stuff, my breakfast was on the table. And he asked me something, but I was in the world of Quordle.
You're in Quordle land.
And I'm pretty one-track minded anyway. So it's a hard time breaking through if I'm doing something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've got Elle. She's asleep. I'm finger, whatever. And then Kris has said something and I don't hear it. So my experience is at some point, I'm kind of like, I'm like, what word should I guess next? Or what could that be? And I look up and Kris is staring at me like, and I'm like, what? And he said, are you okay? I was like, what do you mean, am I okay? And he's like, I've been asking you something. And you are just, and he's like, what? He's like, you just were staring at the table. I thought you'd had a stroke. So Kris's experience is he's talking to me and I'm like not just looking at the table, but intensely just staring at the table, unmoving, unwavering. And he's like, I thought you were 100% comatose.
I can only imagine.
I had tears of laughter. I just thought, because I was wishing that I could see me through his eyes.
Right
at that moment. Just neck down, chin down.
Ellie in one arm just thinking like, what the hell have I done with my life, right? He's probably thinking you're having an existential crisis or something.
Yes. And he's like, I know, you haven't had like a lot of sleep over the last however many weeks and like, but like, whoa, have we crossed a line here?
Are you okay?
Are you? He was like, his eyes were very worried.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
I'm like, I'm totally fine. What's going on? And he's like, he was very like, do I need to call 911?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looked like you were probably, but I can imagine. Frozen. Time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank God you're not.
Okay, you guys.
All right.
If you love the pod, if you made it this far, regardless, whether you love it or not, you've made it this far. Yeah. Hit the 5-star button. Leave a nice note to us in the review section. Helps keep the pod going strong. Tell a friend. And you can sip with us. Always. We will see you next Tuesday. Bye.